of the body, but that the chakras themselves are in the 7 primary caves of the brain. Why do the Tantra say this? Why? For a very simple reason, namely that the entire chakra concept is mental. The entire procedure is mind influencing mind. The entire engendering of the theory and the working out of the theory is a phenomenon within the field of mental energy. In order, therefore, we will say, to meditate upon the chakra, it must be conceived of mentally. It cannot be regarded as an organ which can be examined by persons of all beliefs. While it's a little inconvenient, perhaps, to examine your liver just as a casual procedure, still it is perfectly possible for us to know the approximate shape and size of livers by autopsy and dissection, or by the very excellent models now made in Germany and, I believe, soon to be released from Japan, bearing upon this phase of the subject. In other words, any physical structure can be explored, can be examined, its size, shape, substance, and materials estimated with reasonable accuracy. Such is not true of the chakras. The chakras can be explored only by mind, can be visualized only by mental concentration, can be known and experienced only by mental reflex. Therefore, in the chakras, you have a very rarefied group of mental organs arising within the substance of man's mental existence. And as a result of that, being subject to all conditioning that is possible to a mental structure or form in nature. Now here is one of the problems that immediately presents itself on this basis. The mind being used for the visualization of these spinal mandala, which is what they actually are, engenders in consciousness the symbolic shape. This shape is fixed by tradition. The shape of this chakra and its content, the numerous tantric symbols included in it, symbols which are derived from the various levels of the Hindu religion and have been specialized in the yoga tantric system. These symbols are internally visualized as existing. Perhaps the beginner or the novice works from a physical chart which shows these forms, with which he becomes mentally and psychologically familiar. The purpose that he is attempting to achieve is, therefore, to release the energy symbolically represented by this form. By releasing the energy, what he is actually trying to do, whether he realizes or not, is to reverse the process of mental control and restore what might be termed the pure energy, which has been blocked by mental phenomena. Therefore, these 7 seals represent the symbols of 7 blockages, 7 transitory conditions set up by the sensory reflexes of man, resulting in 7 basic mistakes. These 7 basic mistakes stand between the individual and the, we will say, the intimate, immediate realization of the life power of the heart. To overcome these, therefore, he must overcome the instruments of phenomena which he has set up. He is therefore actually attempting to lead the life energy out of the subterranean region in which it has become involved, carry it back again to its own true and proper nature by dissolving one by one the fixations of mind by which this energy is held imprisoned, or is held in a highly specialized process. To do this, of course, the Tantra process must achieve the victory of right use over wrong use. That is its primary function. Therefore, the processes of the 7 so-called steps must be redeemed from false use. True use must be established. True use must come through realization. And here, within the structure of mind, we find a contrary system established by means of which mind gradually overcomes itself. It is all part of the same process, inasmuch as your yogic system must end in samadhi. It must end in the Buddhist nirvana. It must end in the total release of true consciousness from the ego fixation. This is represented in the Eastern system by the final victory of Atman, the universal, the one which alone is real, and man's ability to achieve union, which is the true meaning of the word yoga, union with the infinite, union with that which is unconditioned. Therefore, it is not right to assume that the chakras can be anything more nor less than the 7 steps for attaining victory over illusion. Now, as 7 steps for attaining victory, man attains the victory by attaining victory over the symbolism of the chakra itself. He gains his victory by mastering these wheels. Now, the word chakra actually means a whirling wheel. Now, the whirling wheel, which is sometimes shown balanced or poised upon the finger point of the god Vishnu, this wheel is a reminder of the Tantra that these centers are in constant motion. All of these chakras should be represented as spinning violently, and the direction in which they spin is of the greatest importance, because in each case victory consists in the reversal of the direction. This is very significant as we proceed. But why do these chakras always appear or seem to be spinning? The answer is that in the condition of man, all of the so-called aspects of mental energy are in constant motion. There is no stability in the mental energy. It is continually in movement. It is continually in conflict. It is continually contradicting itself. And these chakras represent conditions which are constantly in alternation within their own structure, like the wheel of fortune that goes round and round, and where it stops nobody knows. It is the same as the ancient wheel of fortune represented in Egypt and in Greece and in medieval mythology, which later appeared also upon the tarot cards, or the tarot deck. The wheel in which 4 figures are fastened to the rim, and as one figure falls, another rises. And when that figure in turn falls, the one that was low rises again. It is this endless turning of the wheel, the turning of the Buddhist prayer wheel, the turning constantly of the alternation of the nidanas, or the conditions of existence, constantly spinning. All conditions, therefore, spin upon the axis of illusion, and there can be no permanence, reality, or fixedness in them. The purpose of the concept seems to lie in the fact that in the 7 states of mental existence represented by the chakras, there can be no fixedness. There can be nothing that is truly so, nothing that is inevitably not so, nothing that is finally good, nothing that is ultimately bad. These are only sequences of conditions, and the conditions themselves are what are called dependencies. Each condition is dependent upon the previous for its own existence, and that which is subsequent is dependent upon that which precedes it. Thus the wheel goes continuously, and in all of the chakra areas, the motion of the wheel was the ancient symbol of instability, that everything is movable in the universe except the axis. The mysterious, invisible center upon which the wheel turns alone is immovable. And in the Kala Chakra system, the axis of the wheel is actually the heart. The heart, therefore, becomes the axis of a wheel, and around it move the 6 conditions represented by the 6 other heavenly bodies, the 3 inferior and the superior conditions. The 3 superior conditions are the 3 states of the elevation of mental phenomena. The 3 inferior conditions are the 3 unfortunate or misery-causing states of mental phenomena. And the wheel continues to turn. For a little success, a little sorrow. For a little of gain, a little of loss. For greatness of hope, and moderation of despair. All things moving continuously upon instability. And in the midst of this, the lord of instability, the mind itself. Yet man has nothing else with which to conquer mind but mind. He has no way of achieving mastery. The heart cannot give him particulars. The heart cannot instruct him in this or in that. The heart, therefore, cannot wage war with mind, because it has none of the objective instruments by means of which mind has created not only its wonderful neural structure, but the ancient symbol of this, the spider in its web. For the nervous system is the great web with which the spider has spun its existence. In this system, or symbolism, therefore, we have these chakra points, which represent, therefore, the central patterns, the archetypes of 7 conditions, by means of which the unconditioned, or that which is true, is obscured. The mind has 7 patterns upon which it operates. These, we might say, are like the notes of a musical scale. The mind ascends through 7 steps or stages, moving from the infinitely personal to the infinitely impersonal. And the victory of mind over mind is in a mysterious way the only victory which man can achieve, inasmuch as the mind is his militant instrument. The mind is the mysterious power by means of which the error of the mind itself can be discovered. Thus, as the mind has been shown to produce logic, to destroy that which is illogical, mind has produced reason to overcome that which is unreasonable, always remembering that the mind also generated the illogical, which it later had to correct, and also was the source of the unreasonable, over which it ultimately had to gain a victory. And always remembering that the reasonable of today will probably be the unreasonable of tomorrow, and that no degree of mental attainment which man can achieve can be